alligators, bats, snakes. Commonly considered dangerous pests by many people, these animals are actually beneficial to the environment and seldom pose a threat to humans. These misunderstood creatures, along with many others, such as raccoons, squirrels, and opossums, are an important part of a healthy, thriving ecosystem. Wildlife can, however, get too close for comfort when they wander out of their natural habitat and into urban areas, neighborhoods, and homes. When wildlife conflicts arise, it is crucial to consider the safest and most humane ways to resolve them.
All animals need something, and without people, they find the places they're supposed to be. Then they come to the cities and find out there are places that are warmer, and food is available 24/7, and there's no predators. So why wouldn't animals be here?
When we build and change the environment so drastically, we are taking habitat from animals, and so we often live on that edge between habitat and urban areas, and that interface provides a great opportunity for animals to come in. So we have to be aware of where we live and what animals are there and how they're going to interact, and try to do everything that we can to prevent those negative interactions.
Human beings, we're the stewards of wildlife. We're the ones responsible for managing wildlife, taking care of it. So whenever we run into these conflicts where there's an interaction between man and animal, we keep moving into wilderness areas, developing it. The animals learn to adapt, and occasionally there's conflicts, so it's up to us to resolve them in a humane manner.
When dealing with backyard wildlife, the first thing to consider is whether or not the animal is actually causing a problem. During this phase, it is important not to take action based on fear or misconceptions, which are not likely to be safe and humane, and could lead to further conflict.
When nature causes a problem with us, then we have to find some way to resolve those issues. And we don't want people to resolve it out of fear and immediately throwing poisons out and starting shooting or just killing animals indiscriminately. We have to find some way to make the peace.
So we try to educate the customers on what is and what is not a true nuisance problem or a health problem or a danger, to their home or family or pets.
Ideally, homeowners and builders should practice exclusion, a preventative tactic that keeps animals from entering various likely entry points around the home. Bats, for example, can enter the home through a hole the size of a dime or through chimneys, open doors, and windows. Preventative maintenance such as patching holes and adding BOCA regulation screens to vents and chimneys could keep bats as well as other animals outside where they belong. Once an animal has entered a home or business to seek shelter or build a nest, a combination of environmentally friendly repellents and strategically placed live traps could be the solution.
Well, the first thing to do is determine why that animal is there. So if it's something simple that you can do in your behavior, if you have a raccoon coming up and feeding on the dog food that you leave on the back porch all night long, one of the easy things to do is to not leave your dog food on the porch all night long. There are other situations, though, where it's much more complicated. Perhaps animals are there because of something a neighbor is doing. Well, why do you do that? Because animals don't just live within the boundaries of your property. And that's when it's nice to have somebody who has the professionalism to solve that problem in an environmentally sensitive manner.
Generally, the methods are part of a system. So you go in, your initial effort is to identify the problem. Secondly, to remove the problem in some fashion. Usually that involves trapping. Finally, you need to provide the opportunity for the homeowner or the customer to solve the problem on a long-term basis, and that usually involves exclusion.
The key to avoiding wildlife conflicts is always prevention. But if a potential conflict arises, collecting information and assessing the situation is the first step. When action is necessary, it is best to consult a trained wildlife management professional. It is recommended to use companies that use safe and humane solutions and to avoid the use of poisons and lethal traps, which can be unsafe, unnecessarily harmful to animals, and are illegal in some states.
You really need to be aware of these things, and you need to ask experts what really works and what doesn't work.
Critter Control specializes in humane wildlife control solutions. Whether you want to prevent wildlife from entering your home or remove existing wildlife from attics, crawl spaces, or other hiding places, the certified wildlife specialists at Critter Control have the knowledge and the tools to protect your home or commercial property from damage while looking out for the little guys too.
The problems that we have here at Boca Largo are basic Florida wildlife. Everything from possums, raccoons, geese, injured foxes, you name it, we've got it. Basically, we have a program with Critter Control that we're very happy with. I did extensive research to find out who are the best in the area. And what we've done here is comprehensively have all of my developments under one package. And they solve our problems on one phone call. It's that simple.
Our professional staff at Critter Control is made up of biologists, zoologists, wildlife managers, and Critter Control officers with over 25 years of experience. We care about wildlife and you, and that's why we created our unique Critter Safe services.
Critter Control's practice is to live trap and release either on site or in suitable habitat whenever practical. We use live traps, we use one-way doors, things that will have the least amount of impact on these animals. And we've funded a lot of research for translocation of squirrels and raccoons and coyotes because we want to know what happens to them after we let them go in a different area and to make sure there's a high survival rate and that it's not a big negative impact on the animals.
Recommended by leading animal advocacy groups, Critter Safe handling techniques are humane, ecologically responsible solutions to wildlife problems that go the extra mile to protect wild animals and to ensure that your property is protected from future damage guaranteed.
Well, every time we get a call from a customer, when we first come out, it's really a three-part method. First, it starts with a good inspection of the home. Not only find out how the animal's getting in, but also what type of species that we're dealing with and what the real problem is that the homeowner is having. Secondly, then, is to trap and remove the animal. But actually, we want to look at what the customer really wants to. Are we going to trap and remove it, or maybe just exclude the animal? Or maybe it's a situation where we can just put a one-way door up or a check valve, which will allow the animal to get out and not get back in. But it's really up to the customer and what they want and their needs, and what the technician believes is going to be the best situation to solve that problem. And finally, would be the exclusion or repair work on the home. That's what's going to give the customer a long-term solution, that they're not going to need to be called back in a week or a month or a year. We can give them a peace of mind for a long term.
I would definitely recommend Critter Control. It was very important to me that the animal was captured and released in a humane way, and they assured me of that. And also, my personal property was handled as if it was their own, and that made me very happy.
Critter Control, protecting people, property, and wildlife. To learn more about Critter Safe services and receive a free monthly wildlife e-newsletter, call 1-800-CRITTER or visit crittercontrol.com.